Hello everyone. This game features one of the most, again, very dynamic opening. I'm jam packed with that, and it's the opening is Sicilian opening, and it's not a dragon, it's not neither of it's Sveshnikov Sicilian. So let's see. So the player with the white pieces was Rawson Jonathan. His rating was around 2485. Again, a top level player. And the player with the black pieces is Adams Michael. His rating is around 2670. So yeah, the rating gap is really very big rating gap. And so yeah, let's see this game. So here white plays pawn e4, and now we have c5. As I said, the Sicilian opening on the board, and now knight f3, option of open Sicilian, knight c6, the classical Sicilian on the board, and then d4. Makes sense because that's why you want to play knight f3. Knight f3, the idea is to play this thing. And now c cross d4, knight cross d4. Now, there is the thing, why we play knight c6, there is a reason, like when you play d6, let's say after knight f3, when you play d6 here, then after d4, c takes, and white has the option of going with this check over variation. So, but having a knight on c6, this check over variation is not possible. So knight c6 we have here, and d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, and now knight f6, which attacks the pawn. Knight c3, simply development of a piece with a defense on the pawn on e4. And now here goes the, like, yeah, you can play d6, g6 kind of, the dragon stuff is there, but e5. This is what the Sveshnikov Sicilian is. Now this knight is under attack. What you do? So knight d b5. This knight goes to b5. Now the idea of going here is to go on d6. So if black don't want to lose his dark square bishop, you have to stop this knight from coming on to d6, and the only way to stop is to play the pawn to d6. Now this knight can't capture it. So this is the standard position of Sveshnikov. Now here white has two options, either going with the bishop g5, pinning the knight, and either playing knight d5. This is a really interesting line. So knight d5. Now here it seems that, okay, why white is giving away free pawn. Actually, it's not a free pawn, because if you see it, the board carefully, if you capture the pawn, then this check will come and you lose the rook, and these two knights are really active. So that's why you don't want to capture it. So knight takes d5 and pawn takes, and now playing this Sveshnikov is really interesting, because here you simply take your knight back to b8, and now your idea is to develop this knight via d7. So this is the way how black plays. So we have a4, just a normal move, and bishop e7. The idea is to do the castle and planning pawn f5. I'll show you. So bishop e2, castles, knight d7. So this is how the game goes. And now bishop e3, just a normal development, and now pawn a6 kicks the knight away. Knight goes back to a3. You could have gone to c3 also, but I think white has a plan of controlling c4 maybe in some lines. So now f5. Now f5 makes sense because, this diagonal is closed by white's pawn, so white can never use this diagonal to attack your king. That's why f5 actually makes sense. If the pawn is not here, then playing f5 is really, very risky for black. So you don't want to do that. Now pawn f3, because pawn f5 is coming and you want to shift your bishop to f2. So we have pawn f4. At first sight, this move looks positionally dubious, as black loses control of e4 square. But however, it will take some moves before knight a3 is in control of this. Knight, if the knight was on c3, then f4 would be considered as a dubious. But now since the knight is on a3, then it allows you to play the pawn to f4, because there is no one who is controlling the e4 square. So yeah, bishop f2 moves back, and now queen e8. Now just preparing some queen side attack here, like this. Let us see. Now knight c4 comes, and queen h5. Just immediately bring the queen here. Maybe some ideas of this going for some checkmate planning will be there. King h1, rook f6, just going with the same idea. The bishop can join the attack, and then rook come here. Knight can also join the attack. Even this bishop also later joins the attack. So you see, black is pretty doing good here, because going with the attacks. And now we have pawn g4. So okay, you wanna do this like en passant is possible here, and that's what black did here. F cross g3, and now bishop cross g3, and now we have rook g6, simply threatening to take on the bishop, because this pawn is in an absolute pin. how white should protect it, like uh, how you wanna do this thing, like how you will save this bishop. White finds an idea, like he plays pawn f4, opens up an attack, discover attack on the queen, but then queen f6 keeps the threat of bishop rook takes g3 again. Now queen e1 protects the bishop. Now you can't take it. So we have now knight f6, bringing the other pieces into the king side attack also. So this game is like a little bit similar to some stone wall variations, where black also builds up heavy pieces in the h file. So yeah, let's see. Here, white simply takes the pawn on e5. What do? You want to capture? Capturing doesn't make sense because this comes with an attack. So he played here knight e4. Again, preparing to, see. Black is just playing his pieces with the attacks, with creating a lot of threats. So how you want to do this? Like now, he played rook a3. What a nice rook lift here. Protects the bishop. Now, in this is a crucial moment. Like how you want to proceed this position. Like will you? Okay, see, you have a bishop which can anytime go to h4 and do some attacks here also. But okay, taking with the knight, rook takes, and then you may have bishop h4. But here, what black decides? Black finds interesting idea. Black keeps this knight, and black gives up the rook cross g3. He's saying, okay, take it. Rook takes, and now bishop h4. Look at this idea, pinning the rook, and the queen cannot, the rook cannot move because you will lose the queen. And here again, white also finds a very good defensive resource. Rook gf3. He said, okay, take my queen. But the thing is, can you really take the queen? No, because rook f8 is a checkmate coming. So how do you proceed with this position? But black don't have to worry about anything here, because black has a move that simply nullifies all the threats of white. And now bishop g4 again comes up with an attack on the rook. The queen is hanging. Everything is just fall apart. What do? He played rook 3f, like this rook back to f2. Like this move is like completely white can simply resign here because there's nothing more to be done here. And what do? Like as black, you have to do something. So black simply takes the rook with a knight, and rook cross f2 again keeps the pin. So bishop cross f2 again, queen cross f2. So you see in this position, like the position where black sacrifices the rook, being the exchange down, going exchange down, and from exchange down, black is going exchange up here. You see, this is what exchange up means when you have rook against a minor piece. So here, very normal looking move, rook f8, and queen e1, and queen h3. Now, after this queen h3 move, white simply resigns the game, because what do? There is nothing more you can do here. The threat is, of course, bishop takes bishop, and queen takes, and rook f1 is coming here. If you move, see, this bishop is really stuck here. Like if you move the bishop to here, then we have rook f1 check. You just lose the game. And if you move the bishop in the same diagonal, thinking to just keep looking at this one, but then we have bishop f3 check. King has to go there, and now queen g2 checkmate. So what you do here? There's nothing more you can do. And let's say you try playing something like queen to d here, then still the like checkmate is coming. If you are good at chess, you can see this how the checkmate is coming. Just again rook f1 check, and bishop has to take, and then this is a checkmate. So yeah, this is the position. And any other thing, let's just go back after rook a3, and rook cross g3, bishop h4. Like after here, any other move that you play, like what do you play? Like there is nothing you can do here. Let's say rook gf3, and here if you immediately go, obviously, like I so told you that this is not possible. And any other move, like okay, bishop g4, it makes sense because it nullifies the threat of rook f8 checkmate. So yeah, this is the game, and I hope you like it. So here the checkmate was coming, and it's a It's a very good game, and if any variation that you want to add upon, just feel free to share on the comment section. So yeah, that is the thing.